Today we're going to be talking to Scott Autry. Hello, Scott. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. We're really happy to have you uh, share your journey through AFD as well as your current projects right now. And I guess share a little bit more with the rest of the people that are in AFD or have gone through it.
Yes, I'm excited.
Good to hear. Okay, so I guess my first question for you is, what does dance mean to you, and why do you dance?
Wow, that question is kind of just so many answers to
I know
that. But
it's so heavy-handed.
I think why I dance and why I love dance so much is because I think I just feel most like myself when I'm dancing.
Mhm.
I feel like I can really just be me, like unapologetically, and I can explore the different sides of myself and learn so much about myself when I'm dancing. And I think just that feeling of authenticity and just giving like whoever's watching or just giving myself that opportunity to just see who I am like deep down without any explanation or without any reservations. I think just that feeling um is probably the biggest reason why I dance. So there are many others, but I think that is probably the biggest.
Mm. No, that's great to hear. Um, no, that's awesome. I am really excited to hear that dance makes you feel that way. So I guess um, my my next question for you is, uh, what are some of your fondest memories from your education, specifically with AFD?
I think my fondest memory with AFD would have to be when I attended Winter Mix. Um, that was just such an amazing experience, and just being surrounded by so many incredible artists that all just were there to just show their passion and just do what they loved with the people around them. That just made it such an amazing experience, and I learned so much from that. And um, just being constantly inspired by the mentors as well as the people in the program with me, it just I just felt so renewed and so inspired after that experience, and that was definitely one of my favorite memories with AFT for sure.
That's awesome. I've heard so many amazing things about Winter Mix, and I've seen it go through the entire process from start to finish. So I can only imagine how amazing that must have been for you as well.
It was awesome. I loved it.
Great. Um, so what would you say is one of your biggest accomplishments outside of the program?
Um, well, okay, I think my biggest accomplishments really came this year for me. I'm a senior in high school this year, so I had to kind of start thinking about the future for my dancing and what I wanted, and where I wanted to go after high school. So um, I knew I definitely wanted to continue to further my education in dance for sure. So I was really looking at collegiate programs and training programs for dance that I could attend. And after a lot of research and just lots of visiting and stuff like that, I narrowed it down to three top choices for me. And that was the Julliard School, USC Kaufman, and Arts Umbrella. Um, and these programs I knew were very prestigious and um, very selective when choosing who they accept into their program. So I was definitely a little bit nervous, but I knew that those three options were where I knew I would grow the most. So that's what I stuck with. And after all my auditioning and stuff, I ended up getting accepted into all 3 programs.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you. And just that accomplishment of just knowing that all of the hard work that I had put in and like all of the countless hours that I had been training and just really preparing for that, and just to have it all finally pay off with that, with those acceptances, I think that just made me feel so proud of myself. And I was able to kind of take a step back from the training of aspect of it and the crazy auditions, and just like really kind of be, yeah, like I said, just be proud of myself and just know that all that work that I put in was worth it in the end. So I think that was probably one of my biggest accomplishments so far.
Well, I'm extremely proud of you. And I can only imagine how happy Jay and Sarah are for you as well, to hear that you got into all 3 schools. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so
Any
much.
idea which school you're gonna go to?
I'm gonna be attending the Julliard school in the
Wow,
fall,
that's
and I'm
exciting.
excited. Yes.
Awesome. Well, I mean, you've already accomplished such a big goal this year already. So I guess my next question for you is, what are some of the other goals that you'd like to accomplish over this year in terms of your dancing or your art?
Um, I think this year, since I'm gonna be going away to school and kind of starting this new chapter in my life, I think my goal is to really just go into that new phase in my life and that new experience with just complete openness, and just take in everything that I can and really embrace all of the amazing training and just the amazing new things that I'm going to be exposed to, and just really soak all those in and start applying them to my own dancing and seeing how that affects me, and just seeing how that kind of changes how I dance, and that kind of thing. And then also I'm really excited to kind of start exploring my own kind of artistic voice a little bit more, and kind of start playing with some of my own choreography and like some of my own creations, and kind of see where that takes me, and see what I kind of want to say through my own work and my own dancing. And I think I'll really be able to explore that a lot this year.
That's great to hear. I mean, I feel like everyone loves to have an opportunity to explore their artistic voice, and I think that Juilliard is just the perfect vehicle for you to just do that.
Yes, I I know that when deciding in my what school I wanted to go to, I knew that I would have a lot of opportunity there to just explore me, and just explore like who I was as a dancer and who I was as an artist, while at the same time training myself with like the highest caliber of training possible. And I think those two kind of simultaneously working together, I'm just excited to see where that takes me for sure.
I'm excited for you too, and I can't wait to see where you end up. Um, so I guess on a different note, have you faced any hardships or had to overcome any obstacles to get to where you need to be today?
I mean, yes. I mean, who
Well,
uh,
I feel like everyone does, but anything in particular that spoke to you?
I think, um, well, I think when I was younger, I didn't start dancing till I was 13. And before that, I was a high level gymnast.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a whole thing. But when I was younger, I really was faced with a lot of pretty serious injuries. And still to this day, I kind of am battling those, and just, I mean, just any injury like always has its repercussions for a long, long time. And even though I've been super healthy ever since I started dancing, just overcoming that when I was younger was a really big thing for me, and it really made me learn about my own body and about how to be safe and smart and know what my body needed and stuff like that. So that was definitely a major obstacle when I was younger. And then as of more recent, more in dance, I think the biggest obstacle for me is just being my own worst critic, for sure. I mean, dance is so hard as it is, and then to add on top of that the expectations you have for yourself and the things that you think you should be able to achieve, and you just get into this crazy mindset of thinking that you should be somewhere else when you can really only be where you are in that moment. And just that perfectionist quality that I definitely have can sometimes be a really big obstacle, and just kind of learning to turn that off and just see all of the positive qualities that I have in myself and remember how far I've come and what I'm about to do, I think has definitely helped me overcome that, for sure.
Absolutely. I can definitely understand being your own worst critic and just being so hard on yourself that it kind of hinders you in growing even further. And yeah, I can completely understand that. I find that in times like these, I really need someone to lean on or someone to support me. Who would you say has been the most influential in your life when it comes to dance, or has been your biggest support, and why?
I think for me, easily my biggest support is my family, for sure. Um, they have just really, I just know I can come to them with anything, and I know that they will always be my biggest fans, and they will always be there to support me with everything they have. And I think always kind of knowing that in the back of my head also is something that kind of helps me overcome those obstacles. Um, and I think also my mentors that I have at Michelle Latimer Dance Academy, where I train at right now, they have always been there for me as well. And they really make me feel, they create an environment where I feel like I can be authentically myself, and I can be who I want to be, and I can have the artistic voice that I want to have, and I am free to explore and just really use that time to not only train with the amazing training that they provide, but just also feel safe enough and supported enough to make mistakes and just go for something and have it not work out, and through those experiences just grow into a better artist and a better person and a better dancer. So I think I don't know where I would be without my family and then my mentors at my dance studio, for sure.
Yeah. I definitely think that having a mentor allows you to be more fearless, or having someone to support you just lets you just jump off the cliff and go for your dreams, right?
Absolutely.
So this is kind of a small little thing. We all tend to get demotivated sometimes. So what are some little things that you do in order to push yourself and motivate yourself to perform at such a high level, or just create wonderful art through your dance?
I think with dance, when I feel unmotivated is when I'm being really hard on myself. I think the things definitely go hand in hand for me. And I think what gets me through that is just sometimes I think just remembering why I dance in the first place, and just knowing that for me, there's nothing I would rather do than dance. And sometimes I feel unmotivated. There's nothing else I want to do. It's all I want to do because I just love it so much. And despite those times of just being hard on myself and just feeling discouraged. I think when I kind of can take a step back and just remember that how much I love it and how much it means to me and just how much it's done for me, I think just remembering those things can kind of get me out of that mindset and kind of put me into a more positive mindset to keep going forward.
Totally. And since you mentioned that you're so hard on yourself, I guess, what are some qualities in yourself that you would attribute to your success in dance? What would you say is one of your best qualities, even though you're your worst critic, of course?
I think while being your worst critic is really hindering at times, I think it also is is something in myself that I think has helped me be so successful in dance. And I think having that constant want for something more and having that mindset of never settling for anything and always pushing yourself to be the absolute best version that you can be, I think that quality has really helped me continue pushing forward and again just never settling for anything, and always just wanting more and wanting to be just the best that you can be. And I think that um that quality is really strong within me, and I think it always has been. And I'm a very passionate person, and when I mean I love dance and I have such a passion for it, but like I think for me it goes beyond just having a passion for it. Like it's just, I mean, like I said before, there's literally like there's I can't think of anything else I'd rather do than just go to the dance studio and just, you know, like like there's just nothing else I want to do. And I think that passion and that work ethic are qualities in myself that have really helped me get to where I am today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that what you're describing is just hungry for more, just
Absolutely.
constantly just going for it, like
Yeah.
dog with a bone, just keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
And I guess finally, to wrap up our interview, I would like to ask you, what advice would you give to your younger self or other young talents and artists?
I think the biggest thing that I've learned this far, is, I know it sounds super cliche, but it's just to be yourself. I think in my dancing, what really kind of like, I don't know, like I think just what really helped me find who I was as a person and as an artist was just really kind of taking a minute and just knowing the times that I was being inauthentic or the times that I was trying to put on a front or trying to impress someone. And I think through those times and those experiences, I kind of slowly learned that if I am just being me while I'm dancing and being my own voice and not trying to replicate someone else or not trying to change that voice to impress someone or anything like that, I think that is what has given me that just love for dance and that love of just being myself when I'm dancing. And I think also um, just being true to your own voice, is the only, I think in my opinion, is the only way to really be the best version of you, you know? And I think that if you can't live in your like total truth and and just be totally honest with who you are, I think it's really hard to grow in that place. So I think just being totally open and just knowing what you can give and being so confident in that, would definitely be my biggest piece of advice for my younger self or younger dancers.
No, I completely get where you're coming from. I think that it takes a lot of time and a lot of experience to develop yourself to become, you know, to be yourself, to be
Yeah.
unapologetically yourself, and just be happy with what you're creating and what you're doing. And
Yeah.
I personally can't wait to see what comes next for you. And I'm so excited for you about Julliard. And thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciated getting to interview you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. All right. So that is our interview with Scott Autry. Thank you so much, Scott. And we'll see you later.